Hi, this lesson is about the mechanics of the compiler or the IDE that you will work on because you have Windows. Unfortunately, you don't have a Mac, so you'll have to work with the Bloodshed IDE for C and C++, and that's why you can see that I'm on Windows. It's under Mac, but still works as Windows XP. And you can see there is an icon here that's called dev-c++. And in order to launch the IDE, you just double click that icon, and we don't need the tips. Close this, and I'll show you how to start a project, how to write a program, how to compile it, and how to run it. So the first thing you do is you go to File and you select New, and from there you select Project. And the project will always be of console application type, so you click on console application, and for now we'll also click on C project. You can choose C or C++. Right now we're concentrating more on C, so just click on C and now give the project a name. So let's say I'll call it Matrix 101, and I click OK. And now it's asking me where to create it, and it gives me a default folder which is dev-cpp. I'll leave the default folder here. It says save in, and this is the project name that I gave, Matrix 101, and the type is C++, and I click save, and it opens the main window here. And if you can see over here, it says main.c. That's the name of the file that it created, and it gave me a default of include. You remember the include of stdio.h. They also include stdlib.h, which we'll learn about in the future, but right now you know that those files here that are included, they contain functions that we'll be using later on in the program, like printf, and it gives some default program like hello world program. And if you remember, we just left the main with empty parentheses, so I'll erase everything, int main, and the curly left brace, and I will write a short loop for int I equals 0, I less than 10, plus plus I, and this loop will print the number I. So I'll put %d and I, and after that I'll print a new line. I could have done it on the same print command, but I'll just put it in a separate print command, and I will close the loop here. I close the for loop, and I'll get rid of this system command, we don't need it. And at the end we have return 0. So this is the program, a very simple program that prints the numbers 0 through 9, and each one will be on a separate line. And now we'll go and compile it. in order to compile, we go up in the menu, we go to execute and compile. Also, you can get the same effect with Control F9, and it's asking me for a file, so I'll call it main because that file is inside the project. It's a C file, that's why it has .c. So I do save. As we did with Xcode, you always have to save your program first, and then it compiles it for you. And in this case, I see that there are some errors. So let's see what the errors are. It actually didn't like the for loop. Let's see why. For int I equals 0, I less than 10, plus plus I. It's possible that we need to define I before the loop and not inside the loop. Sometimes there are differences between C and C++, and this may be one of them. And let's try to recompile, and now it's okay. So Xcode was more flexible than Bloodshed, but if we stick to the syntax of C, then we'll be okay, because we define this program as C and not C++. So in C++ you can do for, and inside the for loop you can do the declaration of I, int I. In C you need to declare I before the loop. So now you see that there are no errors, and now let's run the program. And in order to run the program, we need to open a DOS prompt, command prompt, which I have it open here, but I'll open it to show you how it's done. You go to all programs and then accessories. From accessories you'll see command prompt. You click on that, and now you change the directory to wherever the Bloodshed compiler is defined, and I think it was CPP. CPP-dev. No, that wasn't dev CPP actually. Dev CPP, and I'll do the command directory to see the names, and the program name is matrix 101, and you can see the name over here, matrix 101. So I'll just type matrix 101 to run the program, hit enter, and it printed the numbers 0 through 9 on separate lines. So you can see that it worked, and this was just a short quick lesson on how to create a program with Bloodshed and how to run it. And it's not a significant program, it's nothing special, but I will give you another program as I promised on matrices. I'll give you one program that's very simple and another one that will be the game of life, which will be more complicated. But first I want you to get the feel of what it is to work with matrices, and then we'll go to the more complicated program. So we'll end this lesson now, and if you have any questions, write me an email.